Hi guys, my name is Jason and I am your watch guy today. Today I am reviewing another piece from Pagani Design. This one is a piece that isn't often homaged, and that's because of the complication on the date that it has. Now you may have already guessed, or you've definitely already seen the thumbnail. Today I am reviewing Pagani Design's homage to the Rolex day date. Now the day date when I was growing up was the sort of president's watch, you know, the really like premium, dressy sport watch. One that really screamed, you've made it. Obviously, the Pagani Design doesn't scream, I've made it. Kind of just screams, I like the look of these. This has been sent to me for free by the Pagani Design AE official store on Aliexpress. Thank you to them. I don't have to send it back. That's as far as this collaboration goes, however. Now, if you wanted to pick one of these up, I have an affiliate link in the description. That is where you can find them. These will be on sale soon with the anniversary sale coming up. Right now, they are priced at £95 on their store. What I would do is click that link, add it into your basket, whichever variant you want, and then when the sale starts, that is the time to buy. Use as many coins and coupons as you possibly can to bring that price down. With that out of the way, let's turn the camera around and let's find out how presidential this day date homage really is. So guys, this is the Pagani Design PD-1752. Now, the real big difference with this piece and the previous Pagani Design homages that you'll have probably seen is this one isn't packed with a Japanese movement. It's in fact packed with a Chinese movement, and that movement is the sea-gull ST16. It is the ST16 variant with the date up at the 12 o'clock, which allows this day date homage to really have the full effect. Now, the real selling point to this piece is beyond the homage aesthetic of that ST16 movement, or what that ST16 allows. This watch is actually a smaller casing than usual. It is 37mm here to here. That's how I have it on the calipers. 37mm in diameter, 11.3mm thick, 44.1mm lug to lug, 20mm lug width on here. That makes it a very wearable, a very dressy style watch. Now the 11.3mm makes this the perfect under the cuff type of wear. Really does make this the ideal either dress or office watch for myself. Now, it's all stainless steel, 316L stainless steel, and it is all fully polished, as you can see throughout the casing. No brushing to be spotted until we get to the bracelet on this one. We have the fluted bezel, which really does complete the day date aesthetic. Screw down crown, as you will have seen on this one. First position is for the date and day. Second position for the handset. As you can see also, this is a hacking movement. There's not much that we really do know about the longevity of Chinese movements. However, sea-gull aren't the usual Hangzhou type of cast-off that we usually get with the Chinese movements. Sea-gull have been around since the 50s. They are actually quite well renowned. I'm pretty sure that they're the biggest selling watchmaker in China. And China's not a small place, is it? It's got a 42-hour power reserve, and it beats at 21,800 beats per hour. Pretty much around the same type of specification as the NH35. However, we don't know how robust it is in comparison. As we move to the back of this one, you can see that it is a display case back. Now, I was really impressed by the rotor on this. It's a very nicely designed rotor. However, I do think that the roughness of the movement kind of spoils that a little bit. I mean, it does look very harshly finished, very budget in aesthetic. Usual information around the outer edge of that case back. We have a sapphire crystal fitted into this piece with a cyclops on the date. Now, for me, I don't usually like a cyclops. However, I think that it really does work with this watch. As well as that, it's well magnified to the point that you think that it makes sense, which it hasn't always been on every other Pagani Design and even every other homage piece that we do get into the channel. This watch is provided with 100 meters of water resistance, and for what is primarily going to be a dress watch or an occasion watch, I think that's pretty sufficient for myself. I don't think we really need any more. One final note, we do have a signed crown, which is nice to see. Clean edge finish to that, makes it very easy to use. As we move into the dial, which is really the showpiece of this watch, I will include some more shots of this dial because it's absolutely gorgeous in person. I've got to say, the lights in the studio really don't do this one justice. The actual effect that it has on the eye, it's absolutely sublime. As I said in the intro, it really did suit the couple of snow days that we had here in the UK. Sunburst effect to it, which really does play with the light nicely. One thing that I do really like is the finish to the Roman numerals that we have around the dial here. They have followed through pretty much exactly to the aesthetic of the Rolex that it does homage, right down to the shape of those Roman numerals. They are applied to the dial. They do have a really nice effect with them standing off the dial and giving a little bit of presence to it. We have a British MOD style train track, second track around the outer edge, or minute track around the outer edge of this dial that's printed to it. Up at 12 o'clock, we have an applied Pagani Design logo with the Pagani Design print following. Obviously, the day feature up at the 12 o'clock, which is really one of the selling points to this piece, and the date feature over here at the 3 o'clock. And the dial is completed with this automatic 100 meters print down above the 6 o'clock. Interestingly enough, no print either side of the 6 o'clock on this one to tell you what type of movement. As mentioned, this is a Chinese movement, so maybe that's why they've left it out. Who knows? The handset is a very simple baton style handset. It does complete the simple yet elegant look to this watch. Stainless steel effect to that. The second hand, which is a needle thin second hand, is actually in a blue tone. Almost looks flame blued. Obviously it isn't at this type of price range. We wouldn't expect that, but there is a nice tonal finish to the dial. Low lume to mention today. This is strictly an in the day type of wear, in light wear. No lume to be seen throughout the entire dial. As we move on to this Pagani's bracelet, it is a very nicely finished presidential style bracelet on this one. I know for a fact people will come for me in the comments because I've said presidential bracelet, presidential style bracelet even. We do have a screw links in here. I've removed all but two. We have a stainless steel polished effect through the center and a brushed effect to the outer edge, which really does give a little bit of a finished dynamic to the watch, especially with this all being high polish up at the top. Standard Pagani Design clasp, double pushers, milled clasp. We don't have an extension on this one, which I also wouldn't expect. 3 micro adjusts here. As you may be able to tell, I have been wearing this one a little bit loose, and that's because it just has that type of feel to me. I need to wear it a little bit loosely. Obviously, to get the right fit, you can go a little bit thinner or a little bit smaller. And there are micro adjusts to adjust to the perfect fit for your own wrist. My wrist, for reference, is 6¼ inches. As I say, I've really enjoyed wearing this one. It's one of those put it on and sort of forget until you want to have a little glance and enjoyment at the piece that's on wrist. Where would I say the drawbacks are for this piece? Well, I'm going to start with something that may be a little bit controversial because it's something that I don't really mind myself. Chinese movement, the sea-gull movement, is not something that we are used to and therefore is an anomaly in this piece. However, I quite like sea-gull movements. I think that they bring the price down in pieces. They make automatic watches very affordable for the masses. I don't mind them. I would have really liked to have seen better finishing to this movement, especially if you're going to display a Pagani. I mean, if it's going to look that rough, let's maybe just put a case on, eh? Another point is the casing on this one is slightly sharp around the lug ends. They're the only parts that I've really found. Not sharp enough to actually cause you a problem, but a little bit pointy in places. Adding to that, the bracelet can catch the hairs slightly. Not a major issue for someone like myself, but someone that's on the Yeti side of life or the bear side of life, you may want to be aware of that. Finally, which brings into context the sea-gull movement or the Chinese movement moan, I think that they've priced it quite high, considering that they do have a Chinese movement in this. Obviously, the Japanese movements we would expect to come at a more premium price, especially the more renowned, NH35 movements or the NH34 that they've started to use. That would be what I'd expect to fetch the premium. So really, the pricing of it with a Chinese movement doesn't make much sense to me. I think it's slightly high. Obviously, it's a gorgeous watch. Pricing slightly high. Hopefully, the sale does adjust for that. Altogether, I think that this is an ideal homage for those who want a day-date homage that's not going to break the bank, is going to look spectacular in the right light, and fits the everyday wear. I think that this is ideal for a lot of people. I've got to say, guys, I really do love that ice blue dial, especially with the effect that the dial does have. This one really did fit in with the crappy weather that we've had in the UK the last couple of days. The snowfall, that wasn't really a snowfall, it was over by midday. But it looked good when I got up in the morning, threw the watch on, and I thought, yeah, that's going to fit the day. If you're interested in this watch, as I have mentioned, link is in the description to the Pagani Design AE official store on Aliexpress. That's who sent this to me. That is an affiliate link. And if you were interested in picking up any of my pre-owned watches, I also have a link down there for my online store. Lots of fantastic deals on there. I think I've listed about 20 to 30 watches in the last week for sale, so definitely go and have a look on there. Thanks for watching this one, guys. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.